What's up, guys? So after my video yesterday, I was kind of having a ton of fun playing LALO, and it got me thinking back to Town Hall 15 when it was almost an unplayable army for most people because it was so difficult. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, has the game really changed? That obviously it's changed a ton, but has it changed to the point where the hardest army in the game is actually playable by everyone now? And I think that we're pretty much there, to be honest with you, with all the spells and hero equipment and everything. I'm going to show a couple of attacks, a few successful, and then I'm actually going to show a fail just to kind of show what I could have done better. I think a lot of people kind of leave that part out in their explanations. Everyone fails, and I think that that's a part of the game that we need to analyze to get better at it. So anyways, without further ado, let's hop into it. Okay, first base. We have this kind of anti-2-star with the poisons, all singles, so that's pretty nice for us here. We're gonna flame fling this top section, pretty obvious flame flinger there. There's nothing. We're gonna check for traps first, of course, and then we're gonna just kind of start to set a funnel here into this expo. To be honest with you, on this attack, I was kind of thinking that my heroes wouldn't even get the town hall. So as you can see, the sweepers are facing opposite directions. So I came in with my heroes on this side. So if they do fall short of the town hall, I'm still going to be coming in on the opposite side behind the other sweeper, where there's a good chance that my queen gets that. But anyways, as my heroes work in here towards the scatter and take the RC down, I overgrowth that monolith and then the buildings on the outside to keep my queen in. And then I pop my king ability to open everything up. The CC comes out, so it takes a little bit of a time to deal with that here. But eventually the queen works through it with the two druids on her. And at this point, really, I haven't really had to do anything. I've just overgrowth that one section to keep everything inside, and everything's been pretty safe. Flame Flinger's been pretty safe. Haven't even looked at it, and it's been fine. I tested for traps earlier, and then as soon as that overgrowth is out and it starts to target the queen there, we pop the mirror, we pop the rages, and then we let the queen just work her way in there, and she does end up squeezing that town hall out. So now, since the queen is down there, I'm going to start with my RC at the bottom here. Some loons to support, and then I have a giant there. The giant brings the king out, and then we put headhunters onto him to deal with that. And then I start with my main pack coming in here up at the top section. I know my RC is going to work in eventually and get that scatter, so that's no concern. So at this point, I'm really just worried about getting this expo, that multi-AT, and then the eagle down. So yeah, like, really simple. I haven't had to do really anything crazy. Just like a one pack of loons just kind of runs through that. If I had enough time, I could have probably swagged like a lot of loons, but the RC is kind of slow. It's still getting stuck up on skellies there. But yeah, like, pretty easy, honestly. Obviously I play a lot of LALO, so like the movements and everything comes a little bit quicker, but that just takes a little bit of time to get the muscle memory down, and you'll be crushing in bases too. Okay, this second base here is a pretty common double invis base that I just really haven't attacked with this army yet. So I'm kind of proud of this plan I came up with. I know it's not a completely maxed out base, and I don't think the heroes are maxed, but this account's kind of in low legends, so give me a break, okay? But yeah, so I start by setting the funnel. There's already a natural funnel point there with those two tile gaps between the air defense and the expo. So I just need one baby dragon to kill that one building, and then I get my queen to go in with the ice golem to activate the invis tower, and then have her wrap around. Then I use the king to cut her back in there, and then they both smash in together. Now my queen, she starts to wander off, so then I pop the earthquake boots, and then she immediately starts to head back, takes out the RC, starts to take out the buildings, and starts to work around that way. And then as she comes down here, she gets in range of this monolith, so I overgrowth that and keep her pathing coming back down and around. Now, as the king's working out here, I drop a skelly spell and then my siege barracks to work with him, and then I have my queen coming in. I dropped his invis just to be safe, to make sure that she would stay inside, but I didn't need to. And then she goes for the town hall. Now she has 2 healers and 2 druids on her, so I just kind of let her work on the town hall. I don't use any spells on it at first or anything. I'm not even sure if I do at all, to be honest. So she just kind of solo takes that town hall, And then at this point, I was kind of thinking like, okay, how am I going to activate the second invis tower? So I kind of just send my RC to work with the queen here, kind of work towards that. And then I start my LALO on the other side, working in towards both those multis. I go heavy in on the first pack here, and then I kind of start to just let them work for a little while. And then as we're going into that ice golem situation, then I pop my headhunters and my hound, and then let them work in there. RC, as expected, triggered the invis tower. So at that point, I've saved a ton of loons, and we're placing on both sides so that the sweeper can't hit all of them at once. And then they work in with the RC there. That first pack, that's all I needed up there. Like I said, don't add anything else up there. You just kind of let them work, let them get in before you might lose a couple while you're waiting for the warden ability to pop, and that's okay as long as they get the value that's intended. You can get through the rest of the base without the warden support. So yeah, really nice. It ends up being a little close on time here actually, which was actually I was like sitting there and I was like, oh yeah, nice. And then these ice golems that had just been hanging around, they were getting to me. And then finally, and then the bombs too and everything. It was just it was a little dramatic ending when it shouldn't have been. But yeah, it was a fun attack, man. Fun attack. For the third and final attack, this is actually going to be the fail that I had. When I was looking at this base, I obviously immediately recognized that it's a pretty common one from the past that people were running, I think maybe early to mid Town Hall 16. So initially you're always looking for the flame flinger value up here on this base. The mortars aren't doing a great job at protecting it because it's trying to bait you into the Teslas here, which we account for and test for. Anyways, so we're going to let this run and let the flame flinger work for a little bit. So here we go. Once the flame flinger kills that wizard tower, excuse me, the king is going to work around like this, and we're going to smash into this section here with the queen. So my plan here was, once I come into this area, I was going to try and maybe get into the core with a wall break, but I had the earthquake boots ready too. And then once I triggered this rage tower, I was hoping to trigger it early, either with the flame flinger or something. Then I would overgrowth that, work down towards the town hall, and deal with this stuff really quickly through the overgrowth timing. Holy I cannot talk today. But yeah, so it sounds like a good idea, but in actuality, there's something that I kind of overlooked, and that is the poison tower down here. So as everything comes in here, it's the king pulls the CC. They deal with the balloons, which are nothing, and then here comes the earthquake boots, and then there's the overgrowth. So you can see it's a pretty decent path to work down to the town hall, get the single out of the way. Excuse me, and then work in and through there, and then once the overgrowth wears off, we would go back. However, we end up having to deal with this poison tower. The king really gets just shredded. He doesn't do anything, doesn't even get through the CC barely. And then the queen steps in finally. At this point, like, I had no answer to keep her alive. So you leave up so much here, when what I could have done is just overgrowth this back section with the poison, the mono, and the multi-archer tower, leaving the town hall outside of it. But then just using a lot of spell investment here, going straight through this, because it's all multis and splash damage. You can use the queen mirror with the rage spell, and then the excuse me, invis spell, and they'll be able to deal with that section no problem. The RC does it alone with nerfed hogs, with a rage and a freeze with that ability. So my king and queen definitely could have, and then they could have worked down to the town hall. Then I could have had my RC coming in outside here, and then I could have started my LALO all the same, where this would actually have been done. This would have been done, and then all I have to deal with is this whole compartment here. So that's where the real mistake happened here. It was like an okay LALO attempt for what was left, but at that point I was just so defeated. I was like, there's no chance this triples. I knew immediately that that was going to be a problem once I started to see my queen and king get like no value while that overgrowth was going. So yeah, sometimes you really have to use your other spells to support the king and queen and focus on using the overgrowth for pathing, so that they don't bypass too much and end up, getting smoked from all sides. Okay, yeah, so there you have it. I think that overall, if you've ever had any inclination to play LALO in the past, you definitely should try it out. It's 100 times easier than it used to be, and it's still just as satisfying. Overall, I'm not too sure on if people like seeing all the new armies, I should say different armies, not new armies, or if people would rather see the main army that I play on my main account, which is just Fireball LALO all the time. Maybe mix in a little of both. I'm not sure. Let me know. But until next video, peace out. See you later.